Need that on tonight?
Did you say you did go today?
Doesn't look like it. No, I didn't.
Oh.
I will call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Still want to say amen when you get done with that.
Any changes or additions to the agenda?
I don't have any.
Motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda.
Okay, attached are the minutes from our last meeting and then our receivables and payables. I just want to point out a couple quick payables. If I can find them. On the last page, we have a rather large bill for WW Blacktop. That was the budgeted street repairs that we have in our budget. It was $193,000. I just want to point out that just about $27,000 of that comes from that Small Cities Assistant Aid that we received from the state last summer, okay? So of that $193,000 bill, you can take 27 out. It's the very last page of the payables,
About the middle.
about the middle of the way down there. 27,000 of that comes out of that state funding that we received.
I think we budgeted at 160, wasn't it?
I think it was 200, wasn't it? Or no, that's this year. I think you're right. It was close to that, yeah.
So we're very close to what we budgeted.
Yep. And really, that's about all I had to point out, I guess.
I had a question on the first meeting of the month. We're supposed to have the golf course.
Yeah.
I assume that's because Andrea's gone?
It is because that, and we did not get our bank reconciliation done before I could get the packets out on Friday. So I wasn't able to do that.
Just be at the next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have a golf course meeting coming up?
Correct.
Yes, on the 20th.
20th, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public forum? When do you guys want to come up, or? Okay. Notice and communications.
I don't have any for you this time.
Council reports.
I got a utility board meeting earlier tonight. AMI update. AMI is the meter change-out.
Automated meters.
The automated meters. That, they did some testing on where to put towers and all that for that, and kickoff is next week for getting a plan together and a time frame and all that of when this is actually gonna happen, so.
Marley sounded really excited about this new process going on.
It really brings a lot of options to the customers, you know, if your toilet's running, it'll tell you got extra usage at a certain time.
Like online, right?
Yep.
You can watch it
Yeah.
online, or you can set individually, you
Yeah.
can set alerts. All of a sudden, if you use, you know,
X amount.
normally 2,000 gallons a month, you can set alarms for, you know, if it goes to 2,500 this month, you know.
Yeah.
It does all kinds of,
Yeah.
I'm just throwing examples out there of, utilities can also monitor, they can set alarms too for that, so all of a sudden you got, somebody's usage goes up in a day, doubles or triples, they can say, hey, you got an issue here, what's going on, you know, maybe they're watering the grass. I mean, it's not a big deal, but maybe it's water softener stuck in recycle mode.
When it sounds like they can see the problem a lot quicker too.
Yes, so
Yep.
we don't end up with,
With this.
you know, 2 months of,
Yep, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Really cool.
but there's a lot of features that'll, I don't know if all our customers will use it, but it's available, it will be available, I guess.
Perfect.
And then the water tower project has officially been moved to spring, because it's getting too late in the year, and to get the sealant, seal right, it's, in the cold, it doesn't work right, so instead of trying to hurry it up and get it done this fall yet, because they got the permits finally, they're doing it in the spring. And then they're looking at adding a tank mixer on their water tower while it's down, which is recirculates the water in the tank, so you don't have the different temperatures, which create a chemical issue in there that, because they're all chemical, or temperature related, and then you don't get the stagnant water on top, because we pump it in at groundwater temperature. You know, at certain times of year, it's either hotter or colder, and this keeps it all mixed together, so it was, in the big picture of things, it's a small piece of the puzzle in there that I think will give our customers a better product.
So will he have to put in for a whole new set of permits in the spring, or are them already?
They're all set up.
Good.
From my understanding.
So I don't have to go backwards.
Right.
Nice.
So, on hold till spring, I guess. That's all I have for them.
Anybody else had a meeting?
Until the 20th.
Okay. I don't know, what should we do? This is gonna go entirely too fast. We're gonna have to come up with something to do here.
Well, I can give my report really slow.
I would really go nuts if you started talking like that.
Did you punch me?
I might.
Well, that being said, it's your turn, so.
Okay, first thing is a cash balance report from last Friday. That's in your packet. Andy, you just mentioned this, the Golf Advisory Board will meet a week from this Wednesday on October 20th at 5:30. And then a couple kind of exciting things here to point out. Last Tuesday, our new squad car went into service. Last Wednesday, we picked up or drove to get the new rescue truck, so that should be in service pretty soon. And then Joe did order a new snowplow that was in this year's budget, that we had budgeted for last fall in the budget, and he has that. Picked that up last week as well.
Exciting.
The only other thing I really have is from the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities, they did have some more information on the population and kind of some demographics in Minnesota. Was kind of going through that the other day. Waseca County actually lost about 160 residents, I think it was. But Minnesota's population went up 7.5%.
City of Janesville was part of that.
City of Janesville did go up, that's correct, yep.
City of Janesville went up, but the county as a whole went down.
Yep.
Nothing
And of
during a
course,
pandemic.
political geeks like me always look at these census to see what the results are, but Minnesota did not lose any congressional seats in Washington. That's always a question you have to ask.
It's a good question to ask.
So we retained our seats, for what that's worth.
I don't know.
That's all I have.
I'll make a motion to approve the administrator report.
Second.
All in favor of approving the administrator reports?
Aye.
Well, there's no department heads here, so I guess we'll, move on to old business and the park board appointments.
Okay, there are, as you know, we did advertise for the park board that the city council reestablished here a few meetings ago. There were 4 individuals, 4 residents that are interested in serving. They serve 4-year terms, and as I point out here in our city code, they serve staggering 4-year terms. So one person will need to be expired in 2021, the other one in 22, 23, 24, like that. If the city council would like to assign those dates to the 4 names, you certainly can this evening, or
Yeah.
if you want us to get the board together and we can see who's interested in what, it's entirely up to you.
So 2 of them will have to be 2 years and 2 of them will have to be 4. Or
No, one
are we
will
gonna
be,
stagger them?
they have to be staggered.
Right.
So every year, someone...
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I see what you mean. I see.
Can we do that with, since there's only, for all practical purposes, by the time they meet...
One meeting?
1 meeting or 2 meetings this year, can we start that process on 2023 of rotating one out, so they have at least 1 full year of being on the board? Does that make sense?
It does, just
Because we only got one meeting before the first of the year and they're getting off, I mean, that really doesn't make sense.
Right.
Well, 'cause technically they would serve through January 2023.
Well, technically,
Even
we
if-
appoint them now, the appointment will do, that's why I wanna make sure we can do it
Right.
through January, or December 31st of 2020, whatever,
Yeah, 'cause they would probably get, what,
they
a
need to
year
be
and
on
a
there at
half?
least a full year, I think, to,
Well, then do we want to
First
do
one.
one at like 22 and then 22, 23, 24, 25?
I think so.
So the end of 22.
Yeah, instead of...
Yeah, they expire on 22.
The first person is 22, yeah. We could if you want.
Okay.
I think it makes no sense to put them on for a month and then have
Well,
somebody, appoint somebody else.
I was just assuming that whoever's on for that short time will say, yeah, keep me going.
Hopefully, but let's not,
Yeah.
how do I say this, let's not give them an option.
So do we want to assign the years tonight, or do we...
Why not?
I don't see a reason we can't just go right down the thing in order.
1, 2, 3, 4,
2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah.
or
I
2,
mean,
3, 4, 5, that would,
There
That
we
would
go.
be
Be fine for
simplest,
me.
and odds are, they're gonna end up being on there longer than that if it works like anything else, but
Hopefully.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so Jagger, 2022, Cummins, 2023, Mulcahy, 2024, Raker, 2025.
Yep.
Jenna Mulcahy.
Okay.
I don't know what we think of Jim, but...
Is that a conflict, having two Mulcahy's on there?
I was wondering that too.
I would think it would be an enhancement.
Right?
More Irish is always better, just like caffeine. More caffeine is always better.
Is it though?
I'll make a motion to pass 2021-28, filling the park board.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would like to thank the people for volunteering, and I don't know, possibly invite them to a council meeting so they can have some discussion with us on as far as direction on how they wanna get going on things, or invite us to one of their meetings or vice versa. I guess it'd be nice to see one or all of them at a council meeting. Maybe
Yeah.
put them on the agenda some night and we can give them a little time,
That is doable.
okay?
Very good idea, Andy.
Very good idea, Andy.
American Rescue Plan.
Okay, just a couple quick things with the American Rescue Plan. As you can tell, when you walked in tonight, the landscaping has begun to be done here around City Hall. We are still waiting for our second quote for the new HVAC system in our building here, but hopefully we'll get that to you soon.
Did they come Thursday, Schwickerts?
They did, it was a couple Thursdays ago. They did come.
But they just haven't got the
Right.
estimate back?
Correct, so we're waiting for the second quote. Once that second quote is here, once the city council approves what you wanna do with the HVAC, I would like to take some time at a council meeting some night and just show you the funding that we have, what you have approved, what is coming next July, things like that, so we can kinda get a game plan forward, if that's okay with everybody. And having said that, I do have a little bit of good news, I guess. I thank the U.S. Treasury for this, but we were supposed to report by October 31st of this year all the spending that we had done, but the Treasury extended that to April. So we now have a few more months that we can actually decide
Well, they've
how we're gonna spend the money.
just kinda set the rules of what you can spend it on, haven't they?
Pretty much.
But we actually have until 2025 to spend it or something?
Yep. And I would like the city council, and I'm sure there's probably some city councils out there that don't do this, but I would like the city council to approve the plan on paper, so
Yeah.
CYA for everybody.
Yep.
That's really all I have, I guess, for that. A lot of cities in Minnesota were happy that the deadline was extended, because it gives us a little more time to get our thoughts together and approved,
Yep.
so.
Maybe they'll have more of a framework of what they want it used for too by that point.
Yep. And just so you know, so what we've done so far is we made some payments for improvements at Park Road Plaza, landscaping around City Hall, and then, of course, the HVAC system, which we'll be looking at soon here. Those are kind of the three big items that we've used so far with this funding.
Stormwater control, not landscaping, right?
Drainage improvements.
Water abatement.
There's the word, I couldn't
I
remember what
love
you
that
kept
word.
saying, yeah.
Isn't that a nice creative way of saying landscaping?
Yeah.
And it is. I
I'm
noticed
laughing
the
you all the
slope they
time.
put out here is so much better.
Oh, yes.
It was actually negative slope for, and that's about a 2.5 to 3 inch slope from wall to curb right now.
From now on, whenever I'm doing anything around my house, that's what I'm gonna say. It's water abatement.
I did notice this downspout right here does not have an extension on it.
Should go out
Yeah,
front.
we should
I'm sure
probably
that-
get one or have,
Yeah, they're.
have somebody
they're
stop down at
floating around
Menards.
here.
and-
Yeah,
Yep.
yep.
Okay, are we done with American Rescue Plan?
I think we are, unless you have any questions, I guess,
What time frame we looking at maybe bringing that up? November, December?
Well, I would like to get, as soon as we get the other second quote in, I wanna put that on the agenda so we can get that figured out.
I'd like to,
And that,
sooner
then
is
that'll give
better.
us an idea of what we have
Yep.
spent and what we have left.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like
Yep.
sooner rather than later.
I would assume by the next meeting, we'd
I
have
would
a,
think so, yeah.
probably this week sometime, but
Yep.
for sure by the next meeting.
That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Temporary wastewater agreement. On this one, again, I'm gonna defer to Melissa because it directly involves me.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so as you know, this was tabled a couple city council meetings ago. The MPCA reviewed the proposed agreements that are in your packet. They were okay, they had a couple minor changes here or there or whatever, but they are good with this. Jason Moran is good with the agreements. And basically, the big point I wanna make in the agreements is that both businesses will be monitoring their usage, and we'll be reporting, to Joe, and we'll be working with us. And then the MPCA did say if there's any major red flags that come up, they'd work with all parties so we could get things figured out. This agreement goes through the end of 2022, so I think after monitoring for 13, 14, 15 months, we should be able to have a good idea
As long
of
as all
what's
parties
going on.
involved are like,
Right.
with this.
If both business owners and Joe and whomever,
Yeah.
then,
yeah, agreed. Any other discussion? on
I've
this?
heard nothing
You're
from
good
Rick
with it?
Frechette, but I'm fine with it.
You're good with this?
Yeah.
I have a question. There's slightly different agreements here. Is it just a font change that makes them different, or is there some wording different in there?
If you look at page one of them, they look,
Got ATW and FTW.
that's just the initials for our business.
Yeah.
So which one is it?
Well, they're both, you get down to the, I don't know if it's just a font difference.
Well, there's
or
a space
No,
here.
there's-
Or if they're identical. I didn't read it word for word.
If you look at page 6 of both of them,
I just wanna make sure they should be close.
page 6 of both of them talks about monitoring. The Frechette discharges into our system now with the water metering, so we'll be monitoring that way. And then as Andy's already been doing here for a little while now, he will be monitoring the flow with the monitoring equipment, so that's kind of the big difference between determining what the usage is. One is going through a meter, the other will be the monitoring on the flow meter. But other than that, Mike, that's really about it.
Okay, I just know that, even on the first page, I thought it was a font difference and a space difference, but I didn't know why they ended at, the first page ended at a different verbiage, so I didn't know if there's differences.
I think,
Well, and actually,
honestly, I think there's just an extra space underneath,
that space there.
yeah.
One was scanned to me, and the other was photocopied, so that could have even been in a scanning thing through email or something.
Yeah, you can see
Yeah,
That's fine,
all the
I
shrinkage there.
yep.
wanna make sure we're treating both fairly
Yep.
and equally.
Is there any other further discussion on this?
I
All
don't,
right. Do we have a motion? Or
I'd
do we
move
need
that
one?
we accept this, this proposal.
Okay.
second.
Motion by Jim, second by Andy, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
Oh, my bad. One abstain.
Who?
I don't know,
I
mystery
know.
surprise.
Melissa, as long as we got everything
You got one
going.
that you can sign.
Sign this one.
Melissa.
Yeah, I need a black pen now, or blue.
That's black, if that's all right.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, new business.
Yes.
Minnesota River Area Agency. on the aging grant.
Yes, the Regional Area Agency, sorry, MNRA, can I just say that?
Yep.
They applied for a grant through the Initiative Foundation earlier this year, and they did receive the grant. It's called a Small Town Grant. We've read about those in some of our mailings that we get from the Initiative Foundation. Anyway, they got a $10,000 grant, which will help complete a community survey and define a project that will be age-friendly. We'll focus on that demographic as well as the community, itself. The grant proceeds have to be spent by the end of August of next year. The agency is looking for lack of better terms, they're looking for a fiscal agent that can help bring the grant money in and expend it and get reimbursed as, grant programs work. So they asked if the city would be willing to do that. I said I don't care, but the city council has to approve it because it's more money than what I'm allowed to swing around. So if the city council is okay with staff taking some time in submitting invoices and cutting checks and then getting the money back from the agency, if you're okay with that,
Is this separate line item we have to put in our funds and?
Yeah, I would probably put it in our general fund, grant proceed line item, and we can kinda monitor it that way.
Pull in and out of that.
And since we are kinda getting towards the end of this year, the Minnesota, they said that they could give us like 5,000 now, and then 5,000 next year, and then the bean counter in me really liked that, because it would separate budget years. So, I suggested that we do that if that works
That
for
won't
them.
Cause any issues with the audits and all that, separate line in, separate line out type,
I don't think it should.
okay.
But as long as it's in the city council minutes that it was approved, then it shouldn't.
Well, if we're getting grant money for anything for town and we just have to do a little bookkeeping on it, I see
no
no
problem.
reason why we wouldn't do it.
I agree.
And I
Is there a
agree.
local group, administering this?
Burke.
Joe Burke is
Yeah.
the one, he's the contact, has he got any other people?
That, Marley's on the committee, there's a few folks at school that are on the committee, there's a committee of 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
something that.
I know that
getting
when I
together.
was helping him at one time, the superintendent and the,
Yep.
all right, I wanted to make sure that
Is
that
that
was still
same-
what, that's the
Yep.
organization we're looking at.
Same group.
Same group.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve us, administering this grant for the, Mega, or do you pronounce it?
Minra.
Minra?
Yep.
Sorry.
Mega? Was that subliminal?
Not even.
That was subliminal, wasn't it, Mike?
I guess. My bad, sorry.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's awesome.
You got any more motions?
I have a question for staff about how we coming on the sidewalk snow removal for residential area. Do we have a plan set before we see snowfall, or?
I was just talking to Joe about that actually last week. The city council will have to approve our snow removal policy like we do every year about this time. And when we do that at our council meeting, we'll come up with some ideas. We have a couple names that could possibly do the work for us and things like that, so we'll bring that up then. I'm
Okay.
assuming it'll be an October meeting, 'cause
Do you have another name that you want to add in that might be interested in doing some of the work, Mike?
Not currently.
Okay. You might have,
Huh?
you might have, okay.
I just wonder where the process was. We always talk about stuff like this, and then pretty soon snow's flying and we're
And
behind
then
the
we're
eight
like,
ball.
oh, maybe next year.
there's actually one year, and this is my bad, but there was one year where the city council approved the snow removal policy, probably after our third snowfall. 'Cause I just kinda kept forgetting to put it
Well,
on
I
the
know some of
agenda.
that sidewalk stuff was discussed last year, and we really
Yeah,
couldn't get anything done last year, but we had best be ready this year.
exactly.
We don't want
Right.
to egg on our face.
Right. I 100% agree.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.